Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation can help for us for our day-to-day life, and at the same time, how you can apply it to yourself and when it comes to society, and how you can apply it to your social life and get the more benefit out of your practice. Because just practicing yourself not enough. So whatever the good practice that you do, you have to apply it to your life and you have to gain the benefit out of it, and you have to develop your life and allow it to grow in you, and you have to bring the change to yourself. So if any practice not allow you to change, it doesn't work. And sometimes when we get into practice, we get addicted to practice and it becomes normal to us. And then we just keep doing it without changing. But when it comes to meditation, the very purpose of this whole practice, bringing the right change to ourselves. So then be allowed and accept it. Because that is the most difficult part. So when it comes to practice meditation, it's kind of like you go against the current. So which current? The current that happening inside you. How that current build up so far? Because of your repetition of the all bodily, verbally, and mentally actions. So that habitual patterns, when you repeat again and again and again, it build up a current. Now when you try to neutralize, when you try to sharp your awareness, what happens? That current start to make unbalance. But still, day by day, you take one step at a time, and you go in the beginning to observe inhalation and exhalation separately, one by one, and then it can become very easy. Rather than look for the outside larger result, you just become more comfortable with them, with this very moment of your inhalation or exhalation. So it kind of like a build up a contentment with us, rather than having too much hopes or the desires or the the too much wanting. You just be very simple with the moment of experience. It is not easy for us. Why? Because we are trained ourselves to dream, imagine beyond the moment regarding a lot of large things. And day by day, it happens. So now when we close our eyes and try to calm down, it becomes very difficult. So then remember, take one single step at a time and do it very clear. Do your best for that. Do it right. So that way, little by little, 1 second enough. So then 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you can increase the duration. So when the observation becomes sharper, clear, awareness becomes sharper, clear, it's easy to increase the duration. So when it comes to that, so today I'm going to give some basic information regarding that when you come to this spiritual path, there are certain things in day-to-day life you have to keep close to you. So it builds up a deeper courage to go against this deeper inside our own inner behavior. So this is a kind of like a 6 type of courage that you have to build up. So it's like when you grow a tree, watering and nourishing, putting soil and protecting. So like that, you have to develop the courage. It's not going to come itself. With the intention, with the effort, you have to interfere with the life. With the conscious mind, taking very conscious decisions moment by moment. So that's how the courage is going to happen to you. Otherwise, just sitting down there, the courage is not going to knock your head and come out of you. So then, always remember, when it comes to sitting, it's deeply developed that. And at the same time, in day-to-day life, and conventionally, how you can maximize it, empower it. So when it comes to the courage, that category is the very first part is physical courage. So the physical courage is that when it comes to that 3 parts, balance, flexibility, and strength. So moment by moment with your awareness, with the conscious decisions, you have to make it happen. It itself not going to happen. Strength, physical strength. So before we go to mental, the flexibility, physical flexibility, because that's bring the mobility, that bring the abilities to you to move forward and become more creative and gain the more you can be a more productive person to yourself. If you don't have the mobility, what will happen? And the strength, physical strength. So then you can apply it to mind also. So by the time what will happen, it's going to come through your mind. But first, understand it very clearly. Develop this physical courage. And it will help you to keep going. Because it's like, this is kind of like a swimming. Because always you have to push your whole body when you swim. You have to push your whole body forward, go against it. It come kind of like the go against the current. So yourself, that all your habitual patterns, mental formations, cankers, that everything, desires, everything now around you, it's like you are in the middle of that habitual mental ocean. So rather than going down, and how you can overcome and how you can get out of it. So very important thing is the one of the first thing, physical courage. So develop it. Don't be a very lethargic, lazy person. Day by day, take care of it. So then the second one, social courage. So when we interfere with the society, even with the husband, wife, children, friends and family members, parents, and the other people, teacher and students, the society, neighbors, always it going to come, that different ideas going to come. And always other people try to overtake you. It can happen consciously or unconsciously. So then, if you don't have the awareness to keep that your thoughts or the ideas or the practice, so by the time what will happen, you start to go behind somebody else. So don't allow it to happen. So whatever your practice, maybe you interfere with other things. And sometimes people say, by the time, oh, because of children, I can't practice. So because of husband, I can't practice. Because of wife, I can't practice. Because of friends, I can't practice. So you have to have the social courage that whatever happen, with whatever the people around, don't allow them to overtake your good time, your good life. So that is your responsibility. Otherwise, it is very rare that someone else going to provide you an opportunity to practice or to do something good. Always they try to take you towards them. So then that's why saying no to others, don't afraid for that. And sometimes it help for you and help for others. You don't need to be a debtor. So you don't need to always depend from others, and you don't need to say always yes to others. So that's the social courage. You have to have that. And the third one is the moral courage. So when it comes to our own life, doing the right things, it's not about the good things. We go more a little bit deeper. It's because most of people so crazy to do good things, and they have no idea what is right. But here we talk about, when it comes to moral courage, do the right things. And sometimes it is very uncomfortable. And sometimes it is very unpopular. But still, when there is an opportunity for you to do the right things, do you have courage to stand for that? Do it. So that is the third one. So develop it yourself. Look into yourself. It is your own responsibility. And the fourth one is the emotional courage. And always, because we always, going up and down with the positive and negative thoughts, good and bad thoughts. We always struggle with the feelings. We are kind of like a spider in the middle with all the feelings, in the network of feelings. That's our life. So emotional courage means when the emotions arise, recognizing it and transferring it to something good and make it a profitable outcome out of that emotions. So That is something, because when we have situations with the emotions, most of time people can't make it more profitable to them. They go into more unprofitable things. And so then later what will happen? And they become worried, sad, unhappy. They build up the fear out of their own emotion. But emotions not bad when you can transfer it to intelligence. And when the emotions arise, make it profitable for you. Use it to make it more profitable. So that way, it's going to become a strength for you. And by the time it's going to become the courage to yourself, then you are not afraid for that. Then you are not going to emotionally collapse. And then you're not going to throw that all the emotions thinking it is bad, because you know the science and how you can get the best out of the emotions. And the next one, the fifth one, is the intellectual courage. So that is very important today, because sometimes, whatever the documentary says, whatever the book says, whatever the teacher says, we just take it. We follow it. We worship it. We accept it. And we're not going to question about it. We're not going to move forward, and we can't let go of that. So when it comes to intellectual courage, this is the mechanism. Then learn, relearn, learn, unlearn, and relearn. So that's the circle that you have to develop. So whatever you learn, and as example, when you go into Vipassana level, you get out of all the techniques, methods, patterns, and vigorously, thoroughly, deeply, you observe your feelings or the sensations, your moment of experiencing in every direction. You recognize, you see how things come to be as they are. You are not limited to one single path. So that's the power of unlearning. So learn, relearn, unlearn, and relearn. So intellectual courage. And the sixth one, the spiritual courage. So the spiritual means spirit, the highest result of you. So that you always have to have a purpose in a very conventional level, for a meaning for a life, and to become a more better person or bring the change to yourself. And by the time, so we have to understand this all not just for practice. This all to get out of this and understand what is suffering and how to get out of the suffering and live a life without suffering until we attain to the Nibbana. So that is the spiritual courage. Because most of time when we get into spiritual practice, unknowingly we get attached to that. We get lost in the middle of this spiritual word. And sometimes we can't find the exit. We can't let ourselves to grow. We can't let go things. We rather than, gaining the liberation, we develop more and more and more deeper, comfortable attachment towards ourselves. So spiritual courage means, so by the time you have to get out of this self-centered mind, rather than go and develop it. But most of time out of the spiritual practice, that is what happens. People have the idea to get out of it, and they come to practice. And then by the time, what happens? And they unknowingly, they build up very egocentric, self-centered mind. So spiritual courage means every day by day, and with your practice, you recognize this deeper inner tangle, and then you untangle it. So you move forward. Rather than holding or rather than building up things in you, you release from your own inner practice. So that is a kind of like gaining deeper freedom from your own inner practice. Don't be biased. Don't be a debtor to your own spiritual path. That's why the Buddha said the Dharma is a kind of like a raft. You just take it to cross the river, that's it. You don't develop any kind of deeper relationship to that. But what happened to us most of time, you know, whatever the spiritual book or the chanting book or the prayer, you know, you start to you know, now you are in the beginning, you have an idea, oh, Tripitaka, you know, sutras, oh, I want to learn and get into the Nibbana. And day by day you read the sutras or maybe chanting or something. So by the time, you know, you start to build up deeper relationship with the book. And then later, it become very holy book to you. You forget about the Nibbana. Now, you're going to get the help out of the book always. When you have fear, when anything happen, you know, you always hold the book. You go and try to get the help out of the book. You know, see what happened. So deeper into the techniques, the same meditation technique, the same sometimes. When the situation comes, you know, we just hang into that. So then deeper level spiritual courage means, you know, you don't develop that kind of practice in you. You build up the freedom. You build up the freedom. So remember, the one day, as I mentioned, the worst thing can happen to a bird. When the cage is open, the bird train and feel so comfortable to walk itself inside to the cage. No one can, you know, free that bird. So sometimes like that. And we come to, you know, look for the liberation, for the change, and we practice meditation. Now ourselves, we bound to the spiritual path. Don't do that. So spiritual courage, get this all, practice yourself, gain the freedom, move forward, and be free from this. So those are the 6 type of courages that you have to develop when you walk in this path, and when your inner nature come against you, and that will help. So physical courage, social courage, moral courage, emotional courage, and intellectual courage, and the spiritual courage. So if you walk through this path, and remember, so by the time, dosa will become kind of like helpful for you to use in day-to-day life. And at the same time, when you come to practice, so that will help you to go deeper into your practice and bring the change to yourself. And finally, gain the liberation or the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Suapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it. Do nothing extra. So if your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again and settle down with the sensation. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ettavata chamnihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.